Hello, everyone, and welcome to episode 45 of Two Amazon Sellers in a Microphone. I'm Dustin Kane, and with me, as always, Kris Gramlich. Kris, 45. We're moving along here. This is
I
great.
know it's been fun. It's been a good time just talking about Amazon. We're gonna have some more guests on, so every we try to do these every day. Sometimes we get a little too busy, so we have to skip a day. But yeah, it's been a blast.
Yeah, I mean, if we don't have a guest, there's always topics to talk about in the Amazon world.
Sure.
But our guest, I've been blown away with just what the knowledge that they have and just things in the Amazon world I didn't know were there. I mean, like the other day, and we were talking to a crewmate about those lending options. I mean, that could be a game changer for somebody out there who's getting started or in the middle of the process with becoming an Amazon seller. So this is a blast. I'm having fun, but today is going to be fun too, because we're going to talk about a tool inside Sellozo, our campaign studio, and just how this can be a difference maker for you, for those out there that are manually managing your PPC campaigns. This could be a complete game changer because it can actually completely automate the entire optimization process for you from everything. And we'll go over that as well. But Campaign Studio is amazing, Kris.
Yeah, let's break it. So to kind of understand like the importance of it and like how powerful this is. Yesterday, I talked to a seller, and for those of you listening, every day, Dustin and I talk to sellers, and we just learn their business, learn how they're doing PPC, and kind of show them what Sellozo does. Yesterday, I talked to a lady, and they're kind of skeptic at the very beginning, and she's like, "What do you guys do?" I'm like, "Well, we automate PPC," and I was like, "What's your strategy?" And she's like, "Here's my strategy." She's like, "Every week, I would go into my campaign manager, and I would download a search term report." And she's like, I download a search term report for my auto campaign, and then I go through my search term report and I look for search terms that converted, meaning they got an order. And then I take that search term report and I go over to my manual campaign and I add it as an exact match into my manual campaign. I have a phrase match I added to, and I have a broad match that I added to. And then I have to go back to my auto campaign and I make it a negative exact in my auto campaign so that my auto campaign finds new search terms. And I told her at the end of that, I was like, that's really good. That's a lot. That's good optimization. How long does that usually take you? She's like, well, it's a different mindset. It usually takes me about a few hours, but I'm doing it, once a week. So sometimes I get caught up and I don't do it every week. But when I do it, it takes me about, a couple hours. So I showed my screen to her and I showed Campaign Studio. And I said, I'm about to change your life. And she's like, don't do it. I go, you literally in Campaign Studio, you take your auto campaign and you just link it to your manual campaign that you want the keywords to go to, and you just hit save. And all that you just explained to me is done every day, automated, so you don't have to do it. And at the end of it, she's like, I feel bad. You're making me feel like I wasted a bunch of my time. I was like, well, now you know about it. So she's signing up. She's going to get linked up on an onboarding call. We're going to link up her campaigns. But the Campaign Studio is designed to take that off your hands. Like, you can still do manual adjustments if you want, but all that stuff of like moving keywords around and bid adjustments and making negatives and moving them from one ad group to the next, Campaign Studio is designed to automate that. So you just linked all that together. And it's a tool that I wish we had back in the day because I love it. And it's like our go-to tool. Every time we show somebody the platform, I think we spend a lot of time on Campaign Studio.
Yeah, and the story you just told is, I mean, like you mentioned, we talk to sellers all the time. I mean, that's one optimization strategy that she has. You hear all kinds of other different strategies that people employ. I've yet to hear one that our tool can't automate. Mm-hmm. And also the story you just told was the story of you and me years ago when we started, and it's overwhelming. I mean, if you decide that you want to make your PPC campaigns efficient and optimized, then you are committing yourself to hours and hours of work if you're going to do it manually. And a tool like Sellozo's Campaign Manager can completely automate that. It's completely a reasonable cost. If you value your time at all, then this tool is extremely valuable in terms of its cost. But yeah, I mean, I've yet to see somebody tell me what the strategy is that I can't demo inside Campaign Studio and say, well, here's how you would set it up. Here's how you would set it up. And then you don't have to touch it. Not to mention what you're talking about the transfer of keywords between campaigns and all the things that you would do. It's also going to adjust the bids on all your campaigns based on the target ACoS. So, I mean, it's doing everything. That's the other thing people don't talk about a lot is when they're managing their campaigns is not only do you have to take that search term out of an auto campaign and move it into a manual campaign, but then you have to go into that manual campaign at least once a week at the minimum and look at how every keyword's doing. Is it costing you a ton of money, not getting sales? You need to lower your bids. Is it a rock star and you could raise your bids? You have to do all of that, which takes calculations. You have to figure out what you need to do. And so our tool is doing that as well. So it's powerful. I mean, it's really powerful.
And what happens is, like, if you try to do this manually, it takes a few hours, but you get sidetracked. Something happens on your phone, or you got to go, attend something within the family or something, and you got to come back and you got to remember what you did. And you're like, did I make that a negative keyword, or did I already move that keyword over? And you kind of lose track on what you've already done. So, I mean, it could save you a lot of hours, a lot of time. As simple as a drag and drop between the campaigns. If you guys have ever used, anybody ever listens, ever used like a flow builder system or like an email sequence system where like or a customer moves from one journey to the next, it's the same type of setup. Your customer is your campaigns. Like the keywords are going to move from one campaign to the next. You can circle back around to another campaign. There's really unlimited opportunity. And it's not just keywords. You could do product targeting too. Like you can move ASINs. So if you wanted to do an ASIN product targeting automated flow, we can just pull the ASIN out of that search term report and put it into a separate ad group in that manual. So, I mean, all that stuff just saves you so much time.
Yeah. And let's talk just about some common flows that people build through here.
Yeah.
I mean, the most common would be running an auto campaign and then connecting it to a manual campaign where it's exact matches. So that's sort of our default mode inside Sellozo. You can set that up quite literally with one click and filling out 4 fields: your target ACoS, your bid strategy, and your budget, and naming the campaign. And you're going to have an auto campaign launch that's connected with an exact match. So everything that converts in there, it's going to go to your exact match. But you can also design flows that do a little bit more thorough keyword testing. So you could have an auto campaign that linked to a broad match campaign. So the only rule you're setting there is that you want the keyword or the search term when it moves over, you're making it a broad match type. That's the only selection you have to make, other than how many times it's converted before it makes that. So it's really simple to set that. So you could have it go to auto to broad. Anything that converts out of that broad moves to a phrase and then to an exact. So that's certainly something that doing that manually would take forever. That's allowing that workflow. Additionally, like I think on your example that you were talking about with the lady you were talking to, when she had a search term convert, it went into automatically the broad, the phrase, exact at the same time. So you could have that workflow where you have the auto connected directly to the broad, the phrase, the exact, where as soon as that term converts, it goes into there. What's nice about having a tool automate all this is that it's not happening like a week or 2 weeks after the fact. It's happening virtually in real time. That thing converts the next day, that keyword is moved over into the destination campaign. There's really unlimited. I mean, you could even get to the point where if you wanted to run an auto campaign and if something had your brand name in it, you could have that actually flow to a different campaign. So we have what we call refinements, where you could have if the search term contains or doesn't contain. So if it contains your brand name, it could take one flow to a whole different sequence while everything else goes into a different sequence. That way you could even be more aggressive or adjust your targets based on what kind of keyword it is.
Yeah, it's powerful. And launching campaigns, like all those templates you mentioned, we've got those templates already built out inside the Sellozo platform. So you wouldn't have to necessarily link any campaigns together. if you launched campaigns in Sellozo, because it's going to default to whatever pattern you select that we've already built, and we're gonna do those campaigns automatically. So you don't have to link an auto to a broad to a phrase to an exact. In Sellozo, you just select that pattern, and then we already got that linked up for you. The keywords are going to move, they're going to transfer, they're going to do negatives, the bids are going to adjust. All that's going to be done for you, just in a few clicks. Really, you're just telling us your target ACoS. You're picking a budget, and that's about it. You're not making like after 5 clicks, make my keyword do this, but lower my bid by 1.5%. And do, like that's too confusing. People can lose what they're doing. They don't know what's going on after a certain amount of time. So just telling us your target ACoS and just turning on the optimizer, that's all the inputs we need.
Mm-hmm. When you see it, you completely understand it. And that's what's fun for you and me, Kris, is that when we get these calls with sellers and we get to show them this, it really is an eye-opener. I would have been blown away 4 or 5 years ago if somebody would have shown me this when I was doing it by hand. And we look at all kinds of tools out in the space. We talk to prospective clients that have used all kinds of different tools. They've never seen anything like it. Mm-hmm. They just haven't seen anything that's as easy to set up, that does exactly what they were wanting to do. You don't have to compromise. You don't have to say, oh, because I'm using this tool, I need to do it a little differently. You can get, that's what I love about the Campaign Studio is everybody's got a different philosophy. Everybody's got a different strategy on how they want to do it. Nobody wants to do the dirty work.
No, so, it takes too much time.
Yeah. So this allows you to do it. So I encourage everyone out there, you can go to Sellozo.com right now and you can schedule a 30-minute call with either Kris or myself. We don't care what you want to talk about in the Amazon world. We'll talk about anything. We'll look at your listings. We'll look at everything. Just tell us, hey, I want to see that Campaign Studio. And we'll walk you through it, because it can be a game changer for you.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah, you won't find this tool anywhere else. It's definitely something unique to Sellozo, and people love it, especially when we show them that during a demo. They're ready to use it. So it's a game changer.
Yep. So I mean, that was a quick overview of that Campaign Studio, but we really want you guys to give us a call and let us walk you through that. It's gonna make a huge difference for your Amazon business, the amount of time you spend on your campaigns, the efficiency and the effectiveness of those campaigns. So please go to Sellozo.com, book a time with us. We'll spend 30 minutes with you going over everything and showing you how it's done. Also, would love for you guys to go to our Facebook, LinkedIn, YouTube pages and channels. You can subscribe to them, like them, so that you get this content. We talk about a lot of things besides Sellozo on this podcast. If you've been listening for a while, you know we bring on guests and we talk about all kinds of topics. So hopefully this is helping you on your journey as an Amazon seller. It's helping us on our journey.
Sure.
We're blessed doing it. So please do that. And then we'll be seeing you on the next episode. All right, everybody. Have a great day.
See ya.